Hello, fellow Midjourney people. In this video, we're diving into painterly style references, those that bring brushwork, texture, and rich surface variation to your AI creations. These styles often transform your prompt into something that looks like it came straight off a canvas. I've explored a range of them using both the classic dot prompt and a series of curated subjects to help bring out their strengths and quirks. For the vertical images, I've used 4 different themes to test each style's versatility, starting with very classical portrait and landscape. And to mix things up, I threw in some more challenging words, celestial and futurism. You can apply these SREF codes in your prompts using --SREF, followed by the number. And I have put the prompt on the screen with every image grid, so you can experiment right alongside me. The seed number 777 is there, just to keep the experiment consistent, so leave it out if you want unique stuff of your own, or leave it there if you want to get results very similar to mine. I have used the relaxed mode for all of these images if you're wondering why you are not getting the exact same images. But, regardless, these styles should be applied as long as you add the --SREF and the number of the style. The names are invented just to add more personality to the styles. It's all in the number for Midjourney. So let's explore what painterly really means in the world of Midjourney. 0. Crimson wash silhouettes. Dark silhouettes and radiant crimson tones define this look, with rough textures and circular suns lending it a bold, graphic presence. The visual language feels influenced by Japanese printmaking, but with a contemporary cinematic edge. It fits the painterly category well, especially for moody landscapes or stylized portraits. Celestial and natural scenes are clear and striking, while futurism is more abstract and harder to place. The style excels at mood and composition, less so at intricate detail or realism. 5.7. Antiqued scroll ink montage. Aged parchment tones and faded ink lines give this style the look of antique scrolls or early printmaking. It mixes celestial diagrams with traditional Chinese landscapes and portraits, all rendered with a soft, weathered finish. Subjects are clearly defined, especially in the portrait and landscape examples, which echo classical brushwork. The celestial and futurism themes feel more symbolic than literal but still readable. Ideal for historical reimaginings, cultural storytelling, or projects seeking a scholarly, archival feel. 6.9. Crimson azure digital canvas. The style is drenched in saturated color, with painterly skies that melt into fantastical lightscapes. Everything feels ethereal and charged with cosmic energy, as if reality has been dipped in stardust. While visually stunning, subject categories blur together. Celestial, landscape, and futurism all share the same visual language, making them hard to tell apart. Only the portraits offer clear grounding. Best used for surreal visuals, fantasy settings, or when atmosphere matters more than subject clarity. 8.1. Ochre umber oil glaze. This evokes Renaissance oil painting with soft lighting, muted palettes, and delicate, almost waxy skin tones. Drapery, posture, and composition all reflect classical European portraiture and pastoral scenes. Portraits are rendered beautifully, with clear emotional depth and historical accuracy. Landscapes feel authentic too, echoing Renaissance backdrops. However, celestial and futurism subjects struggle, symbolism feels misplaced, and the style doesn't support them visually. Best used for historical fiction, classical art recreations, or character-driven period pieces. 8.6. Pastel aqua wash watercolor. This has the charm of mid-century watercolor illustrations. Crisp outlines, gentle shading, and bright pastel hues evoke retro advertisements and educational posters. Futurism and celestial subjects translate surprisingly well, thanks to the clear lines and optimistic tone. Portraits are expressive, though slightly idealized. Landscapes feel wholesome and nostalgic. Great for vintage-themed projects, retro sci-fi concepts, or anything aiming for a cheerful, illustrative style with a touch of Americana. 9.1. Ivory gold oil painting. Richly ornate and heavily patterned, This style feels like illuminated manuscript meets fantasy couture. The muted palette, stylized faces, and floral backdrops give everything a storybook elegance, almost tapestry-like in texture. Portraits are a highlight, distinct, expressive, and captivating. Landscapes blend in well with the same intricate detailing. Futurism, however, is lost entirely. It reads more like historical costume play than anything forward-looking. Excellent for fairy tales, high fantasy projects, or decorative editorial art. 107. Misty River Dawn. Soft washes of sepia and ash gray create a misty, melancholic tone throughout. The brushwork mimics traditional ink wash painting, with gentle gradients and minimal detail anchoring the compositions in atmosphere. Landscapes are immersive and clear, evoking solitude and natural grandeur. Portraits remain recognizable but lean slightly ghostly. Celestial and futurism elements blend into the mist, losing definition. Ideal for poetic visual storytelling, period-inspired settings, or introspective scenes where mood outweighs clarity. 126. Dreamy Pastel. Watercolor Scenery. This style bursts with vivid watercolor washes, sun-drenched pinks, purples, and golds bleeding into one another to create glowing, idyllic scenes. Light is the true subject, casting long shadows and bathing everything in warmth. Landscapes and portraits are both vibrant and readable. Futurism and celestial scenes lean more decorative than conceptual, sometimes feeling like they belong to the same pastoral universe. Best suited for travel posters, expressive portraiture, or romantic sunlit narratives. 129. Golden Hour Cinematic Realism. Golden light and deep shadows define this style, giving everything a cinematic, chiaroscuro quality. The scenes glow with warmth, as if lit by a perpetual sunset or a divine spotlight. Portraits are especially strong, expressive and luminous. Landscapes are stylized but clear. Celestial and futurism subjects work well visually, though they sometimes border on theatrical. Great for emotional storytelling, dreamlike visuals, or scenes meant to feel sacred or nostalgic. 130. Classical Chinese ink wash. This style flows like ink in water, loose, expressive brushwork mixed with detailed bursts of texture. There's an elegant balance between chaos and control, with sweeping clouds and delicate linework evoking traditional East Asian painting. Portraits feel soft yet alive, and landscapes are fluid but recognizable. Futurism blends almost too seamlessly into the brush textures, making it hard to separate from natural elements. Works well for dreamy narratives, cultural fantasy, or anything that benefits from graceful visual motion and layered storytelling. 131. Soft-hued digital impressionism. Bright pops of orange, teal, and yellow dance across a mostly white canvas, giving this style a clean yet vibrant graphic energy. It feels like paint was thrown with purpose, messy but controlled. Subjects are recognizable across the board, though portraits stand out most with expressive color-blocked faces. Landscapes and celestial scenes feel playful and fresh. Futurism leans more abstract but still readable. Great for editorial illustration, modern posters, or stylized branding work that wants both clarity and visual punch. 134. Dreamlike luminescent forest painting. This style glows with a twilight palette, deep blues and golden sparkles giving every scene a soft, magical hush. It feels like wandering through a forest lit by fireflies and stardust. Landscapes and celestial themes are stunning, blending seamlessly with lush detail and glowing light. Portraits are elegant and readable, though sometimes blend too much into the floral texture. Futurism is mostly lost in the organic glow. Ideal for fairy tale visuals, poetic scenes, or serene fantasy settings. 136. Dreamlike pastel pencil painting. Soft gradients, muted greens, and gentle forms give this style a calm, pastoral quality. Everything feels hushed and contemplative, like a memory painted with fog. Subjects are simple but readable. Landscapes and daily life scenes shine with quiet clarity. Portraits are stylized yet expressive. Celestial and futurism elements feel subdued, almost symbolic rather than literal. A lovely fit for children's books, reflective storytelling, or visual poetry grounded in simplicity. 139. Traditional Chinese watercolor. This style feels airy and dreamlike, with soft pastels, delicate lines, and a peaceful atmosphere throughout. Every scene glows with gentle light, from fluffy skies to tranquil gardens. Landscapes and portraits are clearly defined and beautifully rendered. Celestial and futurism blend in naturally, though some futuristic elements feel more decorative than functional. Perfect for slice-of-life narratives, romantic visuals, or utopian world-building with a serene touch. 145. Misty classical landscape painting. Delicate gradients of sky blue, ivory, and peach create a smooth, porcelain-like finish. The scenes feel serene and weightless, as if they've been painted on silk with a whisper of a brush. Landscapes are graceful and immersive, with clear structure and flow. Portraits are soft and stylized, fitting in well. Celestial and futurism blur a bit, their forms get absorbed into the clouds and color transitions. A great match for peaceful fantasy, scenic storytelling, or elegant world design. 146. Elegant Oriental landscape painting. With its teal skies, crisp outlines, and stylized clouds, this style channels vintage Asian woodblock prints with a surreal twist. Everything feels both flat and layered, like a story unfolding on paper. Landscapes are the strongest, full of clarity and charm. Portraits are playful but slightly less grounded. Celestial and futurism imagery are imaginative, though sometimes abstracted into visual patterns. Ideal for art books, visual essays, or designs that mix cultural homage with a whimsical aesthetic. 150. Modern minimalist landscape painting. This style is light as air, pastel gradients, soft clouds, and flat silhouettes give it a calm, minimalist charm. There's a strong sense of space and quiet in every frame. Landscapes are clean and readable, ideal for scenic compositions. Portraits are stylized and serene. Celestial and futurism elements are present but barely there, feeling more decorative than central. Best for calm mood pieces, travel posters, or gentle slice-of-life visuals. 164. Antique scroll watercolor. This style is whimsical and dense, like a cross between a storybook map and a fantasy comic. Earthy tones, sketchy outlines, and exaggerated forms give everything a lively, illustrated charm. Futurism and celestial subjects are imaginative and readable, filled with quirky detail. Landscapes are fun to explore, but can feel chaotic. Portraits are hit or miss, some are expressive, others feel more caricatured. Best for fantasy adventure, children's media, or richly illustrated world building. 182. Sepia ink wash landscape. Burnt amber tones and flowing brushwork give this style a warm, nostalgic glow. It feels like watching a historical epic painted in motion. Dusty light, flowing garments, and expressive scenery all merge into one sweeping visual. Portraits are soft yet full of personality. Landscapes and everyday scenes are clearly defined, while celestial and futurism elements are more symbolic than technical. Well suited for romantic storytelling, period drama, or visual poetry, rooted in culture and atmosphere. 185. Naturalistic, plein-air realism. Crisp lighting and meticulous detail bring every leaf, cloud, and shadow to life. The scenes feel sun-soaked and immersive, blending natural realism with hints of retro-futurism. Landscapes are a standout, rendered with photographic clarity. Portraits feel grounded and expressive. Celestial and futurism subjects hold up well, though they occasionally feel like overlays on an otherwise rural world. Ideal for grounded sci-fi, nature adventures, or heartfelt slice-of-life storytelling. 193. Vivid painterly collage. Explosive color, classical posing, and surreal juxtapositions give this style a theatrical, almost baroque energy. Vivid blue skies and golden fabrics appear across nearly every scene, amplifying the drama. Portraits are striking and central, with expressive poses and emotional clarity. Landscapes are visually rich but often overwhelmed by ornamental clutter. Celestial and futurism elements read more as symbolic flourishes than coherent settings. Best for satirical illustration, bold editorial spreads, or maximalist fantasy with a vintage flair. 204. Misty tonal oil palette. Muted greens and foggy textures create a haunting, dreamlike mood. Everything feels distant and still, as if pulled from a forgotten memory or a surreal 19th-century painting. Portraits are subdued but recognizable, blending naturally into the desaturated palette. Landscapes and celestial elements are clearly readable, while futurism is eerie and abstract, more unsettling than high-tech. Works well for Gothic storytelling, slow fantasy, or visual poetry with a melancholic tone. 208. Monochrome pastel realism. Monochrome pink dominates every frame, creating a surreal, candy-coated world where light, shadow and tone all bend toward aesthetic unity. The painterly finish gives it a glossy editorial polish. Portraits are bold and stylized, standing out as the most readable. Landscapes and celestial scenes blur together due to the limited palette, while futurism feels more playful than functional. A strong fit for fashion-forward projects, visual, satire, or stylized pop art narratives. 222. Minimalist sumi landscape. Minimalist brushwork and a restrained palette of black, red and cream give these scenes the feel of traditional Japanese sumi paintings. The large red sun acts as a constant visual anchor, reinforcing a strong sense of rhythm and balance. Landscapes are clean and atmospheric, instantly readable. Portraits integrate well, though they rely heavily on silhouette and pose. Celestial and futurism elements are present, but extremely abstract, more suggestive than literal. A fitting choice for meditative visuals, elegant branding, or art with a poetic cultural tone. 229. Vibrant textured watercolor. Playful patterns, bold colors, and a textile-like texture make these scenes feel like embroidered illustrations or vintage fabric prints. The palette leans heavily on oranges, purples, and pastels with lots of floral repetition. Portraits are expressive and clear, though fashion-forward more than realistic. Landscapes and everyday life scenes are vibrant and readable. Celestial and futurism subjects come off decorative and kitschy, more about color than concept. A strong match for fashion editorials, lifestyle branding, or cheerful retro-inspired storytelling. These styles brought out some beautiful textures and expressive flourishes, from oil-inspired impasto to more delicate, washed surfaces. If you're looking to replicate the look of fine art painting in your AI outputs, several of these are worth bookmarking. Whether you're aiming for classic portraiture, conceptual environments, or just want a more artistic aesthetic, these Painterly SREFs offer strong stylistic foundations. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, or leave a comment with your favorites. If you want to support my work or grab the companion prompt PDF, check out my Ko-fi or Patreon, links are below. Thank you so much for watching, and let's continue prompting.